There was a huge winter storm that hit us last week. I mean, I'm talking serious freezing weather. I mean, it actually got down to 9 degrees Fahrenheit here. I also happened to be going out of town for Christmas during this big freeze, and my house is known to have frequent power outages, especially when it's cold. So I essentially had to doomsday prep my tank for winter, and I thought in today's video I'd go over all of my winter preparations. If you're new here, hello, howdy, hi, my name is Stephanie and I make silly videos documenting my journey in the reef tank keeping hobby. So if you're also silly and like the reef tanks, make sure to smash that subscribe right now. I live in Texas. And Texas, unlike the rest of the USA, has its own power grid, and it's a shoddy power grid at best. If you guys remember 2 years back, I made a video about this epic winter storm that hit Texas. We lost power for 5 days. 5 days in sub-zero temperatures. It was an absolutely terrifying experience. I have not forgotten the trials and tribulations I went through with the Texas power grid then. So as soon as I saw that temperature was going to drop, I had to commence the doomsday prep. First things first, I got my handy dandy generator tuned up. I have a fireman gas generator. It's been sitting idle for the past 2 years since that big winter storm, so it definitely needed some work done to it. Since it has a carburetor, I wanted to make sure that any old gas that was all yucky and gummy wouldn't clog the engine, so I took it to get a nice little tune-up. And they filled it up with true fuel so it doesn't go bad, which is good. If you guys don't have a generator, I highly recommend it because we put so much money and effort into our tanks and you never know what's going to happen. Either the weather or freak power outage or whatever it is, it's really a peace of mind to know that everything would be okay in these kinds of circumstances. If you don't have a generator, please look into one, please, because it saved my tank during that previous winter storm. Also stocked up on a few gas canisters and gas. If you guys did watch my winter storm video, you know that my biggest issue with this generator during the ice storm was actually finding gas to put inside of it. Driving was super dangerous and every single gas station for miles was either out of commission or out of gas. And quite literally at the last gas station within a safe driving distance, I finally managed to find some, but they were on the last 10% and running out quickly. I managed to stock up then, but had I not been able to, my tank would all be dead right now. So yeah, definitely keeping extra gas canisters and gas on hand just in case so I can act quickly if the power cuts out. Also got some long extension cords for the generator, of course. Keeping up the temperature is obviously the primary concern during winter weather. I had 2 Eheim 300 watt heaters in my tank, but they really weren't cutting it. I didn't have any backup heaters either, which is obviously bad. Aquarium heaters break or malfunction just by looking at them. So in cold weather, especially if your power gets cut off, your regular heaters alone, they ain't gonna cut it. They ain't gonna cut it. Always keep backup heaters, y'all. Okay, so what I did was I got 2 BRS titanium heaters on this bad boy, and now I use the Eheims as backups. Also popped an Inkbird on the 220-gallon tank. The Inkbird is a handy dandy little temperature controller. Basically, you set your ideal temperature in, and then it controls the on and off of your heater and notifies you on your phone if your temperature swings. It helps add an extra layer of redundancy to my heating, which is always welcome, always welcome. Also, another important thing to keep on hand, which is sometimes overlooked, is keeping spare RDI water. You know, when your house gets cold, your tank is going to evaporate quickly. And if the power goes out and you don't have extra RDI water, you're not in a very good position, to say the least. I like to keep at least 2 5-gallon jugs handy at all times. It's never bad to have extra RDI water hanging around, you know, that's for sure. So So now that the tank is secured against the elements, against the weather, and any power outages that may arise, the rest of the preparations I made were solely related to just traveling. I added auto feeders to all of my tanks, even though I had my dear Reef mama come babysit the tanks. I like to feed my fish a lot, and there's no way I could convince her to sit around my house all day dropping fish food in the tank every couple of hours. So popped some auto feeders on the tanks. I didn't really know how the fish would take to the auto feeder, but it worked well and they gobbled, so that's good. Also, I finally set up my Apex controller system. Yay! If y'all regularly watch this channel, you know that I've been sitting on this controller system for actual years now and never got around to installing it. Well, guys, there's nothing like the threat of Arctic weather and power outages to light a fire under my ass. My life is absolutely changed. I'm a changed woman since adding the Apex. Although the pH probe has gone bad because it was sitting in my garage for so long, but it's all good. It's all good. Life is good. I don't know why I waited so long to set this thing up, honestly. It really wasn't bad at all, but worked it up to be in my head something, more than it really was, because it was actually super simple. In my next update video, I'll give you guys a better tour of this cable situation that is currently still a work in progress, but yeah. Also, y'all, I went above and beyond. I even set up the Kalkwasser with the Apex doser. Hooray! Use my auto top-off reservoir tank to pop it in, as I don't have space nor money for a reactor, but it works, and it works well, and that's all I care about, Like I said, I will be reporting back to you in the next video for an update on how that Kalkwasser is going. I'm really excited to use it, I've wanted to start Kalkwasser, heard great things about Kalkwasser and increase my pH, I really am excited for Kalkwasser, essentially. I think that's all I was going to say about that. Lastly, I'm psycho, and I set up cameras to watch all of my tanks. I set up Arlo's and Ampress cameras, and they move, and they see in the dark from every single angle, just in case. This led me to obsessively watch my tanks while on vacation, but it's all good. It's okay, It's funny because I have this hairless cat, right? And she wears this sweater in winter because she gets cold, she gets cold, and the camera detected her as a human. I just thought that was funny. But yeah, this is how I prepped my tank for my upcoming travels during extremely cold weather with potential power outages. And I have one question for you folks. What is your emergency plan? What equipment do you keep on hand for emergency situations / power outages? Let me know in the comments so I can tighten up my Doomsday prep game.